Okay.
Hello, my name is Peter Morton. I have over 33 years experience in banking, lending to small and medium-sized businesses. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on what it is banks are looking at whenever they're assessing a proposition put before them. There's a mnemonic we use called CAMPARI, and each letter means something. Character, ability, means, purpose, amount, repayment and insurance. And what I'll do is I'll run through those individually. First of all, character. The banks like to feel confident in the character of the individual or individuals they're lending to. They want to be sure that they're straight, honest individuals and that they can be comfortable in a relationship with them, and that the client is going to act with probity throughout the relationship with the bank. They want to be sure they're dealing with people who are upright citizens and not rogues. Ability. When we talk about ability, we're referring to the ability of the individuals involved in the business and of the business itself. We're looking at the background of the people, their educational background and their skills background. Do they have the skills required to bring the business forward? Have they got the background in engineering, if it's an engineering company? Have the background in farming, if they're farming? In retail, if it's retail? Not comfortable if somebody goes off in a different direction from one which they're used to. We like to be sure that the client knows the business they're involved with through and through. And the next thing is means. When we talk about means, is what means do the clients have? What background assets do they have? If we're dealing with somebody who's in their early 20s, we would understand that they may not have accumulated much in a relatively short period of time. But if we're dealing with somebody who's more mature, we would expect to have seen them acquire and build up a portfolio of assets, be it property, savings, etc. We look at the assets and how they were acquired. Were they built up slowly and surely over the years, and are they free of debt? If they're not free of debt, how much debt is against them? Or are they inherited? If they're inherited, maybe not quite so comfortable. We'd like to see somebody who has a proven track record of saving and building up an asset portfolio. It gives us something to fall back on in a doomsday scenario, because bankers are always looking for a way out if whatever the proposition may be doesn't work. And they want that to be as painless as possible. I'll be honest, primarily for them and to a lesser extent for the client. The next thing we come to is purpose, and the very first question that's asked for in purpose is it legal? Is whatever the client proposing to do legal within the laws of the jurisdiction in which they find themselves? The second thing the bank will look at, is it within their guidelines? Is it within what they want to do? There will be occasions whenever banks will not want to lend to certain sectors for various reasons. Quite often it is because they feel they're overexposed to that sector, and you may well think banks haven't been asking that question for some time in the property market, and you may well be right. But I can recollect a time when there was a sector in the area where I worked which was booming, and we were lending to it quite freely, and the bank decided that it was overexposed to that sector, and no matter how good the proposition we put forward, it was going to be declined. Because if anything happened to that sector, the bank didn't want to be further exposed than it already was. So you may have a very good proposition, but there may be valid reasons from the bank's perspective why they may not do that. And then when we look further into purpose, what is the reason that you're doing what you're going to do? Why are you doing it? What is the advantage to you in doing whatever it is you're going to do? And also, let's be frank, what is the advantage to the bank of them helping you do what you're going to do? So they look at the purpose quite depth. Can I just get a cup for a second? Purpose, legal,